Good afternoon and welcome back to Loughborough University for the School Games 2017. We're back with the hockey action. It's the time for the boys to take to the pitch as well. England white up against Ulster. We've had one cracking match already today, courtesy of the girls, as England red defeated England blue by 3-2. Well, we have that sort of entertainment this time around between these two sides. England white coming into this game, 2 successive defeats. Hasn't really been their weekend so far. They lost by 4-0 to England red before a 7-1 trouncing yesterday to England blue. They'll be certainly hoping to fare better this time around. As for Ulster, they started with a setback, a 4-2 defeat against England blue, but bounced back with a 3-1 win against Scotland yesterday. It's the first time that they have played on this pitch, and it's wonderful sunshine that greets them as well. To pitch number 1 here at Loughborough University, and very much looking forward to seeing them for the first time on this live stream. Don't forget that every single match today is on the live stream due to the fact that all the games are on pitch 1. So if you know of a particular player or a team you're wanting to keep an eye out for, you know they're playing today, but you don't know if they're on the live stream or not, the answer is yes, they will be. Every game on this pitch is on the live stream, and every game today is indeed on pitch number 1. And of course, this is the penultimate day of action at these school games as well, and you can tell it's getting to the nitty-gritty stages of this competition by the fact that after the last game, between the two girls' teams, England red and England blue, we actually had the announcer reading out the current standings in the girls' pool. I imagine the same will be done after this game in the boys' pool as well. We are getting very close here to finding out who will be taking the school games crown for 2017. England white certainly have a lot of work to do in order for them to be in that argument. Ulster, though, still have a chance if they can manage to take the 3 points from this game. Good support for England white coming into this game, despite the 2 heavy defeats they've encountered. There's no doubt at all that they've got some very talented players within their ranks. But, of course, the difficult thing about the England teams is being able to gel together. The England youth team separated into white, blue and red. So all very good individually. However, this team in particular has struggled to be coherent as a team. As for Ulster, a mixed bag of results so far, but they'll be looking to bag their 2nd win of these school games here today. Rhodes dispossessed early on by Matt Milken. In fact, it's actually Oliver Kidd down the near side of the right, and he got the last touch on the ball as well, according to the umpire on the near side, Zach Longstaff. So a restart for Callum Ross to take. In fact, he's going to leave it for James Gardner instead. Gardner has been one of the most impressive England white players over the course of the first 3 days of competition here at Loughborough. Oliver Kidd touching the ball with his foot there inadvertently, so another decision going against him early on in this contest. It's a scoop ball forward there that has led to a foul being committed, so Ulster with the first real opportunity to knock the ball about at the back, and some crisp passing early on from them as well. Some decent pressure from England white though, sticking 3 white shirts inside the opposing half to try and close down the man the ball now, Tom Robson, who makes some significant inroads, and the ball goes into the area, and there's a real opportunity here, but the shot goes into the side netting from Oliver Kidd from quite an acute angle. It was always going to be difficult to find the target there. So a first half chance of the game going the way of the team in red, Ulster. A lot easier this time around to identify the two teams. Of course, we had a bit of a conundrum really with England red earlier on in blue and England blue in white in the girls match earlier on today, but England white thankfully are in white, Ulster in red, and everything is lined up for what should be a corker of a contest. Burns down should I say, at the back, releasing the ball down the right-hand side. Johnston trying to bring the ball under his spell. Fails to do so, however. A good hassling from behind by Jack Haycock, who loops the ball forward, but it goes out of play. The England white with the opportunity to restart things. Problem there with two balls being on the pitch at the same time, so a bit of a delay here before England white can get us restarted. James Gardner is up from the back to take this, and he has to actually revert back to find his captain Tom Downs due to the good pressure from the boys in red. Good ball down the line, and it's Greg Johnson trying to get past his man. He'll get another bite of the cherry here, but it's good defending. Andrew Edgar getting the decision, as there was no advantage there. I think he got caught on the foot as he came out from the back. So a restart for Ulster. Tight game so far here. Both teams trying to settle down and get into their respective rhythms. Seemed like a trip on the 23-metre line. The referee disagrees, however, and Rhodes comes forward, shapes his body to play it out towards the far side. It meets Robert Johnston just about, who is then dispossessed by Fergus Gibson, the Ulster captain. And a decision going in the way of England white there, who are enjoying a bit of territorial advantage at the moment. Downs towards Callum Ross now. Ross will play it back to Downs, who's got a good view of the pitch as the furthest outfield player back for England white. Played it to Gardner, but his pass intercepted, and a break now on for Ulster, who have men charging down the centre at the moment. Ball played into the centre, does fall out on the edge for Harry Morris to try and work it out towards the near channel. However, that breaks down. And England white getting the decision there in the centre of the park. 5 minutes gone, goalless so far. James Gardner, nice ball out towards the far side. And then an unfortunate drop stick for Simon Allen there. Gives Ulster possession back, and they're certainly making the most of it here. Good pass forward by Fergus Gibson, and it's a real opportunity into the area. It's a tight angle for Oliver Kidd to get the shot away. It still required a save nonetheless from Adam Knott in the England white goal, and Ulster will restart play on the 23-metre line with their captain Fergus Gibson, who played that lovely ball forwards a few moments ago. And not as good a ball back, however, for Andrew Edgar this time around. Edgar managing to find his range, and a good ball out towards the near side, and Jack Haycock, who slams it into the centre. And Oliver Kidd again, very close indeed to opening the scoring for Ulster. Just couldn't quite get his bearings right. It was difficult to react quickly enough to that ball that was fizzed in towards him. So England white surviving that first bit of Ulster pressure towards their goal. There may be another bit of pressure coming now, however, as Harry Morris picks up possession. Finds Gibson, who slots it down the left channel. The ball is still alive here. It is cleared away by Gardner, and it will be an England white ball anyway. I think it was a high ball into the area that the umpire didn't like. The game beginning to kick into life. Allen now playing on the left side of the defence after earlier starting on the right. Gardner, who is absolutely everywhere on the pitch most of the time. Charlie Griffiths surging forward with the ball. He manages to find Moran as well. He scampers down the right channel. He's got Edgar for company, and Edgar lets the last touch on the ball as well, so Moran will restart things in what is glorious sunshine here in the East Midlands. Perfect conditions for these two teams, and the pitch is in good nick as well. Again, the water cannons coming out after the last game before this one, so it means we've got a wonderful slick surface for the two teams to exercise their passing abilities. Gardner stood over the ball here, forced to play it backwards for Rhodes in a central position, sweeps it down the inside right channel. Too much pace on that for Joe not to bring it under control. And Ulster taking command of possession now at the back. Jay Haycock with the ball at his stick. Turns into trouble, however, and Oscar Kay can break forward down the left channel. He just manages to find Joe Knott here, who couldn't quite nudge it past Tom Robson, who got an important interception on it. And the ball momentarily clear, however, it then comes off Robson's left foot. So a restart for England White to contend with, and a promising position here. They've definitely pushed Ulster back quite a bit when they've had the ball, but they've not been able to yield the sort of opportunities that Ulster have managed to have so far. And Ulster are very dangerous on the counter-attack, and they will be here as well. This man, Oliver Kidd, has certainly been in the thick of the action inside the shooting area at the moment. He's forced out wide, so he'll have to try and cut it back. No one in a red shirt there, though. It's a bit of a tame layback as well. The only option in the area was Jay Haycock, I think, who was at the far stick. In fact, it was Harry Dow, the number 4, and he was nowhere near receiving that pass. Promising though for Ulster, who definitely have the pace to break on the counter, and obviously it'll be obvious to Shirley Mackay, the Ulster team manager, the frailties that England White have at the back. England White conceding 11 goals coming to this and scoring just the 1. Joe Knott trying to add to that tally, however he's disrupted in his tracks. Play beginning on the near side with Edgar, who switches play towards the centre, and now it's back towards the near side again, and Paddy Hunter. A nice slot down the right channel. It's not a great first contact on the ball from Oliver Kidd, however he will manage to get play restarted on the near side as Gardner ran out of room. In fact, it's Andrew Edgar going across to take it instead. He plays it back for Hunter. Almost had his pass intercepted there by Robert Johnston, who got a nick on the ball, so it will force Ulster back. And it's a chance for England White to push over halfway and box Ulster in this left-back position. Foul in favour of Ulster there, just outside their defensive quarter. And Andrew Edgar now has the ball at his stick, immediately looking forward. It's a powerful ball forward. It's the pace of the ball that beat Simon Allen there, as it was met by Harry Dow, who benefits from a decision by umpire Zach Longstaff. Play resuming, and a good opportunity here as well, as Gibson gets towards the left side of the area. He goes down, but in fact he committed the infringement, according to Zach Longstaff. So neither team dominant in this game so far. It hangs very nicely in the balance indeed. Harry Dow trying to break away down the right side of the area, and Rhodes coming across is shown a green card by Zach Longstaff, who wasted no time at all there to get the triangular card out of his pocket, and it's a penalty corner for Ulster. First one of the game then. The infringement committed by Jack Rhodes, who will be off the field for a couple of minutes. And Ulster with the first clear opening in the game, with 4 minutes to go of the first period, to draw first blood out of this very even match indeed. Jay Haycock is the one that's gone to the dead ball line to pull this one back. There are 5 red shirts lined up on the central part, on the penalty area edge. Shot comes in low, and it's well met by Adam Knott down to his right-hand side, and he may have conceded quite a lot of goals over the course of these school games so far, Adam Knott, but he has also made a lot of good saves as well to make sure that the scores have only been at the 4-0 and 7-1 over the course of the first 2 games. He's had to save another one there, and then it was fired back towards his goal, I think from Oliver Kidd, and he agonisingly went wide of the left-hand upright. Some promising openings for Ulster in the past couple of moments, but they haven't been able to make any of them count. Oliver Kidd certainly in the thick of the action whenever the ball goes into the final quarter of the pitch. Wouldn't be surprised if he bagged a goal in this game. Johnston facing his own defence, so he opts for the safety of his captain, Tom Downs. Johnston again. Good pressure from Ulster. Just couldn't keep it in on the near side, however. Matthew Morris just running out of pitch. Nice scoop ball from Gardner down the near side. Allen brings it under his spell. Good command of the ball that from Allen, who just knocks it back on the reverse for Gardner. Always searching his Gardner. A good awareness as well of Matthew Morris behind him. Also in a good shape about them at the moment. England White being made to work for the openings, and they've been forced all the way into that defensive quarter now. Moran, he's very much capable of running with the ball from deep. Sort of in no man's land at the moment, Moran, so lays it back for Downs and receives the 1-2 as well, does Moran. Good ball down the inside right channel. Johnson couldn't bring it under control. It's cleared away by Scott Dale in the Ulster goal. But Moran picking up loose pickings. Runs into the challenge of two Ulster players. That's one too many. And Rowan Tajura puts the whistle to his lips as Moran is felled 23 metres out. Rhodes back on the pitch. Knocks it back for Gardner. Gardner opts for the sideways option and Downs, and still Ulster scurrying around and making life very difficult indeed for England White. And once again, the pitch not big enough for England White. Downs runs out of play. And an Ulster ball it shall be. Haycock to Paddy Hunter. Bit of room to run into here towards the halfway line. Opts back instead for Fergus Gibson, who just about managed to get his stick on the end of that one. Ulster taking their time with this attack. Eventually playing the ball forward. Good interception from Downs, but it only goes out of play on the far side for an Ulster ball. Good play getting towards the dead ball line is Harry Morris, who cuts it back and he almost squeezed into the net there. It goes wide without the aid of an England White touch, so it will be an Ulster ball. Don't think the Ulster players are too satisfied with that decision from Zach Longstaff, but it's his call that is final. As the clock ticks down into the final 10 seconds of this first period, it'll be England White with possession, and I think we're going to go into the first interval all square, right where we started, at no goals apiece. And there the horn goes at the end of the first 15 minutes. England White 0, Ulster 0, the latter creating more of the positive openings towards the back end of that first period, but they've not been able to make any of them count. Oliver Kidd in particular, the number 10 for Ulster, looks very bright indeed in front of goal. He's had the best opportunities in this game. As for England White, they've enjoyed a lot of possession and territorial advantage as well. However, they've not really challenged Scott Dale in the Ulster goal, so it means the score at the end of the first period is England White 0, Ulster 0, and the second period will get underway in a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere. Quick breather then for England White and Ulster before we get underway with the second part of this first half here at the 2017 school games at Loughborough University. England White 0, Ulster 0. A tight first half. Both teams certainly satisfied with the start, however, both knowing they can do better. England White searching for their first win of these school games. Certainly on paper, it doesn't look pretty for them at the moment, losing 4-0 in the first game against England Red. And I have to say, despite the fact that England Red were the better team in that game, it was a late foray of goals that made the scoreline seem as significant as it ended up being. A bit like the Malta-England game last night in the football, where England Red certainly a good value for the 3 points, but it may have been a bit harsh on England White, the fact that they went 4 goals down. Against England Blue, however, it was a bit of a different ball game, bit of a trouncing. 7-1 they lost. So far in this game, however, you would not believe that the team in white had come on the back of such a hammering. England White coming forward with Johnson, knocks it back for Rhodes. It's a nice first time layoff there. Well, the idea was good anyway, but the interception from Ulster was vital, important and well executed. And they will start from the back with Paddy Hunter, the anchor of the Ulster defence, spreading out wide left. Now Edgar, he's got a bit of room, and drawn out there to try and make a challenge was Greg Johnson. He left a bit of room behind him, and that means that Ulster now have room as they go into the area, and the shot coming in from Harry Dow was just inches away from finding the back of Adam Knott's net. It took a nick on its way through off of a England White player, and therefore Ulster begin from the 23-metre line. Here's Edgar. Square for Hunter. Ulster moving it very nicely at the moment. England White try not to get drawn out too much, but the ball goes into the area and the ball finds the back of the net, and it's Matthew Morris who gets the opening goal in this contest. 2.5 minutes into the second period, and I said that Ulster in the first quarter of this game certainly had the better of the chances despite not having much of the possession, but they have made that chance count. Matthew Morris diverting it home, and it means that England White trail by 1-0 against Ulster. That's Ulster's 6th goal of these school games, which isn't a bad tally to notch up after 2.5 matches. And of course, if Ulster do win this game, they put themselves right in contention going into tomorrow's final day. They face England Red tomorrow, and that could be a decider as to who takes the school games crown. You can watch it live on this pitch tomorrow lunchtime. England White not letting that goal phase them too much, and they straight away have possession at the other end. Downs finds Gardner. Gardner trying to find room and an option as well. He manages to squirm the ball out towards this near side, the left, and then it's an attempted reverse ball by Charlie Griffiths, and frustration for him as he failed to find an intended target. And Ulster comfortably come out of that phase of play on the other side unscathed. Good crack back by Jack Haycock towards Edgar. And again, Ulster not rushing it at the back. Of course, the temptation is always there to launch an attack as soon as they get the ball. But they're just toying with England White at the moment, and then playing a ball like that whenever required. And here's Hunter in a more advanced position. Tries to get towards the dead ball line, but is stopped in his tracks. And a bit of room here for England White if they use it well. Johnson finds the overlap of Griffiths. Straight away, like a pack of dogs, Ulster are on to England White whenever they begin to get into a threatening position. And what's amazing about Ulster is that when they have the ball, they have a back four more or less inside their own half, and then everybody else piles into the penalty area, but as soon as they lose the ball, everyone is back inside their own half in a flash. And Shirley Mackay must be very happy so far with Ulster's performance. They have possession now with their captain Fergus Gibson. Square for Edgar. Edgar again, inside left channel, good dart forward, but he goes into a bit of uncharted territory. Not almost came out on top. He will get the decision from the umpire, and a chance for England White to chuck players forward now. Johnson trying to keep it in near the corner, succeeds as well. Good command of the ball there from Johnson, but runs into a bit of traffic, and it's Gibson who just tickles the ball between a few players and gets the decision as well. A wonderful bit of dribbling that from Fergus Gibson. Certainly handling the stick very well indeed. Good half for Ulster though so far in this game, but that was a poor pass from Haycock. Uncharacteristic from Ulster in this game. And Knott now bursting forward. His eyes are beginning to light up here as he gets in towards the penalty area, and he concedes a foul. He had three red shirts scurrying and chasing him, and Knott there just overdoing it a little bit. And Rowan Tijura blew his whistle, and that is why Ulster have the ball back at their sticks now. Edgar once again. The red shirts of Ulster just piling themselves in towards the attacking zone. However, Stephen Hamill couldn't bring that under his spell. And a bit of room for Rhodes in the centre now as Ulster begin to retreat. Rhodes finds an opening down this left-hand side, and Griffiths up square for Moran. And England White now being forced back inside their own half. They will come again, however. Moran drifting from right to left. Caught his foot, I think, but in fact it will be him getting the benefit of the decision. Down the line it goes for Knott. And last touch there came off for an Ulster stick. A restart 23 metres out for Callum Ross to entertain. Back for Gardner. He receives the ball again from Downs. Gardner returns the favour to his captain. And a good attempted ball there from Downs, but whenever England White attempt the more ambitious forward balls, it always seems to be an Ulster stick outstretched to divert the ball away. Simon Allen on the right-hand side, inside for Griffiths, who's facing his captain Downs and plays it to him as well. It's a decent switch for Ross, who tries to find Moran. Just couldn't quite get on the end of it. I think Moran's just saying to Ross, take a bit of pace off that ball there, and I may have been able to bring it under control. As it is, it's the England White players scuttling back to defend this Ulster offence. Again, a slow build-up from the back. Ulster just waiting for the right moment to play the ball forward. And off your camera, whenever Ulster have the ball in their own half, the 4 or 5 Ulster players up inside the attacking quarter, just running round in circles, dragging the England White defenders with them. It's causing a lot of problems. However, England White haven't been tested quite as much as they may have expected since the Ulster goal. Of course, Harry Dow breaking the deadlock in this contest, and it's his goal separating the two teams at the moment. Griffiths forced back, but again Ulster conceding a foul. Gardner, first time, spreads it out towards the far side, not does well to prevent the ball going behind, and just knocks it into touch instead. Said before, it's difficult for the English teams, red, white and blue, to gel as a team. There is no doubting their ability as individuals, but as part of the English hockey programme, the players are divided into 3 teams. They are equal on paper, based on ability, but of course it's potluck really as to whether the teams can gel well enough for these school games. The Ulster players will be a lot more familiar with each other, and they're certainly exercising that at the moment. Gibson runs a bit too far forward. It leaves room for Moran to burst into now on the counter, and he manages to get past Edgar as well. Great turn of pace for Moran. Real opportunity. Tries to go around the keeper, and what a recovery from Scott Dale in the Ulster net, who was almost rounded there by Michael Moran, but got down to his left-hand side to get a big paw on it and divert the ball away. Ulster getting away with one. They can't afford to be pushing too many men forward like that in future. Gardner. Ulster with everyone back now. As Downs has to just play keep ball with himself and fellow defender Gardner, who comes forward a few yards but then will play it back for Rhodes. And a lack of movement at the moment is the call from the England white goalkeeper Adam Knott here, because it's all well and good England white keeping possession in the centre, but if they can't find that release ball forward to an England white shirt, then it's not much good, and there is a lack of offensive movement at the moment, and the Ulster defence, as rigid as it is, hasn't really been challenged yet. Best chance of the game though for England white, certainly falling at the stick of Michael Moran, denied superbly by Scott Dale. Foul in favour of Ulster now. Just a bit of a trip with the stick there. The referee rightly called up. Again, Ulster managing to just about keep possession. And now they work an opening here, ball in towards the front post. And again, it's Oliver Kidd getting a stick on the end of it. And once again, just missing the target. Ulster ball just short of halfway, spread into the path of Andrew Egder. Now Hunter. Great find down the left channel, and it goes for Harry Morris. He's got Rhodes in his back. Morris just toying with the ball before playing it across, not alert, and getting a big left foot out there to get it away. And then a foul in favour of Ulster here, who play the advantage. Now Edgar. Ulster players forced very far forwards here by the lure of the possibility of getting a goal. Easy interception from Johnston. Is the break on now? Johnston getting the referee's decision, and he decides to leave it for Rhodes to play it forward. And then Johnston just not on the right wavelength, and Johnston in the last couple of games hasn't really managed to find his stride, which is frustrating for him. More than good enough, but he's not been able to show the maximum ability that he possesses so far today. Downs knocks it into Rhodes. Nice turn from him, and a good offload as well. Allen keeping the ball alive. Has to make sure he doesn't run into too many players of the opposition. Just to get the benefit of Zach Longstaff's whistle, however. Rhodes, the architect at the moment for England wide. Moran, who, for the first time really in these school games, showed us just how quick he is. We know he's quick with the ball at his stick in terms of dribbling, but actually stretching his legs forward towards the opposing penalty area. The first time we've seen that was a few moments ago when he was denied by Scott Dale. He's got it again, Moran. Goes around one player, then a second. Has to make sure he keeps the ball in play. Does so as well, but Moran then runs into Paddy Hunter, and Hunter finds his captain, Gibson, who gets the decision as well. Moran committing the foul. Hard work for both teams at the moment. The scoreline does give a fair reflection as to how tight it has been. However, Ulster do seem a bit more comfortable with the ball at their stick, and they are the team in front by a goal to nil. Harry Dow with the goal. Hunter's got a bit of room. Main option you'd suspect would be wide right, and he goes for it as well. A minor opportunity there for Jay Haycock to try and burst into the area. It's well shepherded out by Tom Downs. And England white will start from square one at the back. Rhodes finds Allen. Allen runs out side of a bit of a cul-de-sac before then playing it straight into the path of Hunter. And now the goal scorer Dow. He's got the option down the line and finds the number 17 here for Ulster, who tries to cut it back. A real opportunity for Dow once again. He's denied a brace by Adam Knott's big leg pads that got down there and beat the ball away. And another scare for England white, who now begin to counter, but are not only denied by the Ulster defence, but the half-time hooter as well. And it means that the score after the first 30 minutes is England white 0, Ulster 1. A second period cluttered with opportunities. Harry Dow getting the opening goal of the contest around the 20-minute mark as he managed to fire it past Adam Knott. England white were very close indeed to levelling things up when Michael Moran went one-on-one with Scott Dale around 10 minutes ago. However, Moran was denied by the excellence of the Ulster stopper, who looked as if he'd been rounded but managed to stick out his left stick and put the ball away. So it means that the half-time score here is England white 0, Ulster 1. Be back with us in around 9 minutes' time for the start of the third period. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back for the second half of this clash between England White and Ulster. It's the team from Northern Ireland leading by a 1-0 going into this second set of 30 minutes. Of course, both teams swapping ends, and Ulster will have the ball from the start, going from right to left in their red shirts, white shorts and red socks, against an England White team in their white shirts, navy blue shorts and white socks. Big 30 minutes coming up, and you will not miss a hit of the ball here on this live stream. So off we go with this third set of 15 minutes, of course, the game in 15-minute quarters. And at the halfway point of the match, England White having a lot of the ball, but Ulster with more of the opportunities. They look so threatening on the counter as well. And they've also got very good movement up front. You know, whenever the ball is in this sort of position, there's always movement ahead to pick out a pass. Edgar with the ball now, and a bit of room as England White are just camped inside their own defensive quarter. Nice bit of play that from Kidd, who just gives the ball away, unfortunately, for Ulster. Now the attack is on with Oscar Kay, trying to get to the halfway line. Great tackle from Fergus Gibson, and the official Rowan Tajura disagreeing with the cries from those of an Ulster persuasion on the near side that was a great tackle. Seemed on the face of it that it was. The umpire disagreed. One thing that you have to say about Fergus Gibson, whether he gave a foul away or not there, so calm in possession. Never looks challenged, just a little flick of the wrist, and he manages to worm the ball away from the oncoming defender. Ulster enjoying the possession in the East Midlands sunshine at the start of this second half, and Kidd's got a chance. Didn't quite fall for him the way he would have liked to. He's still working the ball almost with a reverse ball backwards there from the dead ball line. However, it's well foiled by the England white defence, and it was Ethan Kensett as well who got the ball, picked it up, got to the edge of the 23-metre line. Ulster now with the ball, and it is with Andrew Edgar. Good ball on the outside right, and it's a flicked attempt across the face that took a deflection there, I think off Gardner, and it will be a Ulster restart right next to the penalty area. It's well moved again, and Gibson plays it to Hunter on the left. Hunter then tries to play it onto the overlap, but not equal to it. Not gets inside of Hunter, and he's felled by him as well. So England white getting the decision that time around, just short of the halfway line. Moran back now for Tom Downs. And spreads play left for Allen with a first time pass that was a bit reckless and almost made a big dent in Oliver Kidd's head there, so that is why it's a foul in favour of the team from Northern Ireland. A couple of balls on the pitch momentarily as well, which the number 5 for Ulster, Andrew Edgar, will just clear off the pitch before we get started once again. Ball on the right, well blocked by Moran. He manages to clear it out of the defensive quarter. Ulster will repel it with interest though on halfway. Edgar again finding the man out wide right, which is Haycock. Nice straight of ball as well. The pullback almost there, but Ben Nelson just couldn't quite get purchase on it. Thwarted by the England white defence, but Ulster will come again, and there's a queue of red shirts in the penalty area at the moment, just waiting for a ball in. It's a ball that is cleared away. Ulster still in the attacking quarter. Hunter dinks it in there. Too high, a ball in from Hunter. Good idea, however. But England white will be gifted possession back, and Adam Horan's men will just be trying to get over the halfway line at the moment. Gardner gets towards the halfway line, and indeed an attack may be on now. Good switch towards the near side and room for Ethan Kensett. Tries to slam it in towards the penalty area. Took a deflection, offered Ulster body rather than stick, so England white ball now. Moran standing over it. And the umpire just telling Moran to not take it so prematurely this time around. He was taking it from the wrong position. Second time lucky, however. Moran back for Downs, and out it goes towards the left-hand side. It's a poor first contact from Callum Ross. And ball goes out. An Ulster start. Lack of penetration from England white in this game so far. Ulster managing this game well at the start of the second half. Of course, still relatively long way to go in this game. Tom Robson coming out on top there against Joseph Knott with the aid of the referee's whistle. Gibson, patient and square. Hunter getting in a bit of a tangle there, and Greg Johnson is quick to react, and he gets the decision as well in his favour. Gardner's up there to try and move things quickly. Rhodes now in the centre, trying to get past Gibson, and succeeds as well. Gibson slipped and unfortunately concedes a foul. Gardner, he wins a decision just outside the penalty area. England white beginning to tap at the Ulster door at the moment. Rhodes stood over the ball, trying to find a route towards the penalty area. Opts back for Moran instead. England white going for the scenic route, and it's a route that has not worked for them. And here come Ulster. Can they be fruitful from this counter-attack? The ball through is good, and Kidd got goal side there of Moran, but just couldn't wrap his stick around the ball. But that is the threat that Ulster pose. England white can try and penetrate as much as they can now, but the counter-attack is always going to be there. And Ulster threatening on that occasion. Ball at the other end. England white getting the decision. Moran inside. Shot fired in by Rowe. Still scrambling around. Johnston tries to unleash one. And a very good interception indeed from Matthew Morris. Matthew Morris, of course, the goal scorer for Ulster in this game. Slight confusion with the name of the player in that first half, saying it was Harry Dow. It was actually Matthew Morris. Harry Morris now onto the outside, and Ben Nelson plays it across. It's a good chance and a penalty corner. A foot was used in there. So Ulster with the second penalty corner of the match. And just a bit of a discussion going on at the moment on the edge of the penalty area as to how the team in red are going to negotiate this one. Jay Haycock will be the man tasked with knocking the ball back, as the 4 England white players line up on their goal line. Haycock plays it back. A nice bit of play this, a good juggling as well as the shot comes in low and it deflects wide. It was Fergus Gibson once again, composed not only on the halfway line, but he's not too bad as well when it's in the opposing penalty area. He will restart play 23 metres out. In fact, leaves it for Paddy Hunter, who takes it into his own stride, shoots low, looks for a deflection. It did get one. It squirms through towards Adam Knott. And an infringement again committed by England white. And another penalty corner for Ulster. 2 in quick succession. They came very close with the last one. Fergus Gibson unable to hit the back of the net due to a deflection on its way through. Can Ulster yield anything this time around? Haycock again on the dead ball line. Poises himself to release this ball back. Few Ulster players licking their lips at this one. I think the Ulster players are just waiting for the music to go off. It has now. Haycock back. Shot directly coming in this time. Once again takes a deflection. It was Matt Milliken who fired it in. So another restart, 23 metres out. This time Gibson does take. Square for Edgar. Edgar fires it into a dangerous area. Didn't meet an Ulster player on its way through. And so England white can breathe a sigh of relief and get a bit of respite now coming forward out of their defensive quarter momentarily. However, they are being pushed back by Ulster in numbers as well. And that has forced the mistake out of Callum Ross. And Ulster quickly have possession back at their sticks. Edgar got Johnston for company, and Johnston with a tackle as well, an illegal one. So Edgar, no messing about from him, plays it back for Hunter. Milliken feeds it back for the big number 9 at the back. Spread out for Edgar, who's gone out to a wide position. Fires it into the centre, it comes off the post, it's a real chance, but the referee had already blown his whistle, despite the fact that Harry Dow put it into the net. And Rowan Tajura says, look, I'd already given the penalty corner for you. There's nothing I could have done about that. Harry Dow will be frustrated that he couldn't get his name onto the score sheet. But another Ulster player might have that opportunity now from this dead ball situation. Yet another one in this third period for Ulster, who have been well and truly on top. First 2 quarters pretty tight. This one, no doubt, going the way of the team from Northern Ireland. Usual suspects on the edge of the area. Haycock is the man stood over the ball. Drags it back. And the shot fired in. Takes an immediate deflection as Matt Milliken tried to fire home. And yet again, England white concede a penalty corner, and I think there's a bit of despair at the moment with Adam Knott the England white goalkeeper, because his goal and his penalty area living a bit of a charmed life at the moment. Surely Ulster are going to make one of these count. It's going to be the same setup. Jack Haycock on the dead ball line. Fancy Fergus Gibson this time around. In fact, it's not Milliken again, and that time it does go into the back of the net. Milliken striking it. Don't know if it took a deflection off another Ulster player on the way through. We'll get confirmation in a moment, but it certainly looked like Matt Milliken's strike that just whistled past Adam Knott and into the back of his net, doubling Ulster's lead. They have this one surely in the bag now. 2-0 to the team in red. And definitely deserved that goal there. A token of Ulster dominance.
Second goal for Ulster in the 39th minute from number 6, Fergus Gibson.
Well, the goal has been read out as Fergus Gibson, but it seemed to me like Matt Milliken who struck that in the net, and indeed a couple of Ulster punters agree with me as well, so we'll stick with that. At the back, yeah, it's Hunter on the ball. Here is Gibson, nice turn backwards to find Hunter again. A lot of patience here from Ulster, just letting the seconds tick by and passing with a lot of ease at the moment. The England white players, to me, seem a bit tired. They've had a tough first few days at these school games, some heavy defeats along the way as well, and they're just making sure they're not going to be on the end of another one here. But Ulster certainly showing no mercy. Tom Robson trying to slip it down the left side of the area. Mang comes away with the ball, but just can't keep it in play, and he's very frustrated with that. Edgar now. Harry Morris turns Moran. Still going Morris, back it goes. It's a chance, not diverts it away. The danger's not fully gone, and it won't be for another couple of minutes as well, because a penalty corner has been awarded again from Rohan Tajura. No complaints from the England white rear guard. And Ulster with the mentality at the moment of if it isn't broke, then do not try and fix it, because Jack Haycock will once again go to the dead ball line to pull this one back. Callum Carson up there. Also Fergus Gibson, the captain, too. They are the two poised on the edge who may strike this. Gibson goes for it, and it just sails wide of Adam Knott's right-hand post. England white immediately going up the other end. A rare sign of purpose in this second half. Joe Knott just holds it in next to the dead ball line. Then wins a foul. Still going Knott, and then he commits the foul himself. And frustration for Joe Knott, frustration for England white as well. Just not getting the breaks in front of goal at the moment. Of course, they had a wonderful opportunity towards the back end of the second quarter when Michael Moran went one-on-one with Scott Dale. Dale, really, the only time he's been called into action in this game, managed to go down to his left and get the ball away. Could be more pressure on his goal here now, however, but Fergus Gibson comes out marching with possession. Nice play that from Tom Robson. Initially dummied and then he went for the pass. He's got it again now in a bit of a tight spot. Johnston lured in to commit a foul there. With a loose pass back by Robson. I think it had too much pace in it for Edgar to control, but Scottdale helped him out. Allen having possession back for England white now. Moran. I think England white will be very much looking forward to the hooter at the end of this third period. It's been tumultuous for them. They might end it with a late positive flurry, however. Joe not standing over the ball. In fact, he's left it for Moran now. And the umpire, Zach Longstaff, is just telling Moran to play the ball from the right position. He does now and squares it for Gardner. Downs' pass goes too far in front of Callum Ross. Just not clicking. Again, England white players, no doubt in their ability. They have been in the national programme, just like the England blue team, just like the England red team. But as they've come together as a unit, they haven't quite gelled, especially like this Ulster team will have been working with each other a lot longer than the England white players have. And it's certainly beginning to tell. Yet another penalty corner. They've been ruthless with the last couple. Matt Milliken striking just a few minutes ago. And will the Ulster forwards be able to cause bedlam once again in the England white penalty area? So as the sun beams onto the pitch here in Loughborough, it's going to be Haycock who drags it back. A shot again from the captain. That one did take a deflection and it may have took the sting out of the ball, so Knott could parry it away. Could have had it covered anyway. Moran with a good switch towards the far side, but an even better interception from Stephen Hamill. Charges down the right and releases Dow, and it cannons off Dow's arm, I think, there. And therefore Rowan Tajura, the umpire, steps in and awards the ball back to England white. Knott turns away from Hamill. Hamill trying to get the last nick on that ball. He does, but again, it's illegal. So England white progress a few yards further forward with Gardner going down the inside left channel. Hamill tracking him every step of the way. Gardner had to stop in his tracks as he gets towards the dead ball line. It's worked back nicely, however, for Downs. He was in a bit of room. Now Allen. And now Gibson, the architect of everything good for Ulster, intercepts and storms forward with the ball before being tripped. And a yellow card, has been shown for Charlie Griffiths. And Gibson will start things from the back, playing it in towards Matthew Morris, the goal scorer of the first goal. Couldn't latch on to the end of that and make it 3. So England white will be the ones with the ball now, and this time it's a bit of a sudden ball forward from Tom Downs as it loops into the air, and that is because the car horn was imminent, and the car horn now sounds. So we've had 3/4 of this game, and it's Ulster leading by 2-0 at the end of the first 45 minutes. Matt Milliken adding to Matthew Morris's earlier strike, and it means, as we are just minutes away from embarking on the final 15 minutes, that it's England white with all the work to do here. Of course, England white with 2 defeats from 2 coming in to today's game don't look as if they're going to stop the rot here. Ulster look as if they're going to get their second win out of 3, and what a big win it could be as well, bearing in mind they'll be playing England red tomorrow on the final day of action here at these school games. The way it's going at the moment, that could be a champions decider. I'm sure Scotland will have a say in that, as well as England blue. So a big day of action here at the School Games 2017, and we are only halfway through it. The girls are back up at 4 o'clock. as Ulster take on Scotland, and then concluding this penultimate day of action here in Loughborough, England Blue against Scotland in the boys' pool. Make sure you join us for those matches. We've had 2 great games already today, 2 more to come as well. Both sets of players breaking from their respective huddles. Ulster going from right to left, leading 2-0, and they get this final 15-minute spell underway. Again, England white pretty coy, staying inside their own half, allowing Ulster the ball in this harmless situation. England white, it appears, are trying to just lure Ulster forward here, but Ulster not buying it. They're only passing the ball when they see an opening. They have one now. It's fired across, and it's just gone behind the stick of Matt Milliken and all the way out towards the far side. Ulster winning the ball in decent territory here, and they managed to get a penalty corner as well right at the start of this final quarter, inside the first minute of it, and the clock stops as Ulster now discuss how they are going to approach this one. They've certainly had enough practice at penalty corners in the second half of this game so far. Will they be able to unleash a 3rd goal of the game from it? Haycock rolls it back. Shot comes in, it's blocked, a stick goes flying as well in the process, and then a player for Ulster does too, and that means we're going to have another penalty corner. Haycock again over the ball. And another shot comes in, not saves it again. The ball going around, and this time it's Ulster committing the offence. And England's white breathing a big sigh of relief. Kensit down the right-hand side, finds the overlap of Oscar Kay. Plays the ball inside very nicely indeed, and then it's a swing and a miss from Greg Johnson. And then a card is going to be shown here. I think that one was for Andrew Edgar, who jogs off towards the far side. So a spell on the sideline for Andrew Edgar, and then another card has been shown, this time to Tom Downs, the captain of England white. So discipline, a bit of an issue at the moment with both sets of players. England white have 2 players off at this moment in time. And apparently it seems like England white have got 1 extra player. So one player's going to have to come off, and the player who does is Joseph Norton. Fair play to him. It was an open invitation to any of the England white players to leave the field of play, and Joe Norton's the one that does. So there are 2 players off for England white at the moment, and I think the issue was they had 1 too many player from 1 player not being removed first time around. So a slight bit of confusion there. It's been ironed out now, however, and England white with a 2-goal deficit and a 2-player deficit Sorry, 1 player deficit as well, because Ulster do have a man off for themselves. And calmness can now be resumed. So, at the back it is, with Adam Knott. Moran plays it out towards the near side. We had 2 balls on the pitch. Goodness knows why. Well, nonetheless, James Gardner begins it on the far side now. Allen does well to turn away from one Ulster player, but the problem is you turn away from one and then suddenly another one appears as well. And then it's fired by Gardner off of the back of Matthew Morris, and we'll certainly have felt the sting of that one. Gardner then cannons it back off him again. But because it hit Matthew Morris on the foot, it will be an England white ball, and the last deflection there came off Harry Morris and out for an England white ball. A late revival from them, it seems. Johnson tries to get in towards the area. It's a good interception from Matt Milliken, who's just toying with Rhodes at the moment, and Rhodes is lured into committing the foul. Then it's a nice ball down the line from Milliken, and this is now Kidd. Back for Milliken again. Good play from Ulster, progressing through the quarters here before trying to switch it towards the far side. Oscar Kay with a very important bit of defending to get his stick in the way of that, and he can now charge forward as well. Gets inside of Hunter. Hunter has fouled Kay, and England white quickly get on with it. Johnson threads it down the right side of the area for Kensett. Kensett with a difficult task there of slowing himself down to keep the ball in play. And I was just about to say, did it to a T, but then he lost concentration, and the ball inadvertently just evaded his stick and goes out for an Ulster ball. So Ulster back to a full complement now. And it appears as if they have a 2-man advantage. Robson spreads it back. Robson with possession on the left. Cries from the Ulster contingent for the players to push, and certainly trying to do that was Robson. They managed to get into the area, but Moran will be the one who reigns supreme with the ball at his stick. Tries to turn away from Gibson. Gibson fouls Moran there. So now it's England white, who have 10 players on the field now. We've still got Tom Downs spending some time out in the sin bin. Johnston can't control it. And here come Ulster again. Can they find a bit of a pocket in the middle? Seeing as though they've got a 1-man advantage here. Certainly trying to waltz his way forward is Harry Dow at speed. Lays it back to his captain, Gibson. Gets to the right side of the area. Johnston managing to get his stick out and win possession back, and now not. Nice bit of dribbling here to get away from Ben Nelson. In fact, it was Tom Robson who was the Ulster defender there. Moran knocking it back to the safe option, who is Callum Ross. Moran's got it again, but he's not got as much room. However, he manages to get away from the Ulster defender initially before scurrying down the right channel. Manages to find an offload as well. A decent opportunity this for Ethan Kensett, and he does manage to get a deflection from an Ulster player. And that buys England white possession once again. 23 metres out with Rhodes. Plays it back for Ross, and then it's quickly moved forward by Gardner. But then Ulster are just as quick onto the scene before trying to tackle each other there. Uncharacteristic error from them. Ball slammed forward and comes off Matt Milliken's stick last. Moran knocks it into the path of Ross. It's an ambitious ball forward, but it's one that's yielded a positive outcome. Rhodes trying to knock it past Edgar. Edgar mops up. He's got a few players jockeying behind him there. Put him in under pressure. Who's going to get the last touch on the ball? It will be Edgar. So a white ball it shall be near the dead ball line on the near side. Rhodes knocks it back towards halfway. Downs back on the pitch, and with that means we're 11 v 11 again. Gardner out left, and it goes too far in front of Callum Ross, and just when things seem to get promising for England white, it breaks down again. Good block by Knott. It means Ulster can progress a few metres forward with this next ball in. Again it slams off Knott, and again it goes out. Milliken does it again, and then he plays it straight into the path of Ethan Kenzie, who's looked very sharp in this final quarter. Kenzie tries to knock it into the D. Well mopped up by Ulster, but Knott manages the loose ball and then tries to play it into the path of Johnston, and again not on the same wavelength. The old expression about singing from the same hymn sheet certainly can be applicable to this England white team. Decent ball forward towards Kidd. Moran gets the benefit of the umpire's whistle, and now Rhodes, key cog in the England white system. Can't quite conjure up the right ball out towards the far side, however. Rhodes finds Knott. Knott, always a busy player, and he's got good command of the ball as well. Johnston trying to scurry down the left, and he commits the foul there. Not quite sure what for. But nonetheless, Andrew Edgar can restart things with the clock ticking down towards full time. Not long left at all. 5 minutes 20 to be exact. Ball goes out for an Ulster ball, and you can just feel Ulster taking the foot off the gas at the moment, but they can afford to with that 2-goal buffer. If England white did half the deficit, however, things could get very interesting indeed. At the moment, I have to say, I don't know where the goal is going to come from for England white. Ball is played down the line, and well met by Carson. He's got a couple of players travelling in his wake. Manages to find a ball back as well. Downs has it deep inside his own half, but he goes straight to Kidd, who brought it down nicely out of the air and slammed it towards goal, but over the bar. And Adam Knott's game is over. So the goalkeeper for England white is off, and wearing the purple bib now is Tom Downs. So no goalkeeper for England white for the remaining 4.5 minutes. Of course, Tom Downs' defensive duties also coinciding now with goalkeeper duties. That's why he's wearing the bib. But Ulster have a man less outfield, but it means they have a perfect opportunity here when they come onto the attack. This is a real chance to round the game off. It's steered into the roof of the net superbly there by Oliver Kidd, who eventually gets on the score sheet. He had a couple of opportunities in the first period of this game. He manages now to get Ulster's third with just 4 minutes remaining. There is nothing that Tom Downes could have done as he tried to retreat there towards his own goal. I think he may have pulled something as well on the right side of his torso. He seems to be grimacing a little bit. But that goal from Oliver Kidd there, putting a cap. A very impressive performance from Ulster. 3.5 minutes to go, and they lead 3-0. Incidentally, the 8th goal they have scored in these championships as well. Rhodes with a lovely turn, and as busy and as industrious as he's been, Jack Rhodes, it just hasn't quite happened for him, and he's held up by the referee's whistle that time as well, and it means that Stephen Hamill can stretch his legs and come forward. He plays it down the line nicely for Morris. Penalty corner has been given, and Joe Knott has got his hands on his head. So Rowan Tajora has given the decision, and at the moment the England white players are remonstrating with the other umpires at Longstaff and asking the question. And Longstaff is having to justify that decision to the England white players, who will be on the halfway line and watching on to see if the 4 England white players back can defend this and stop Ulster getting a 4th here. It would be a controversial goal, but the decision stands from Jack Haycock once again, as he has done with all the penalty corners that Ulster have had in this game. They've had quite a lot as well. We'll supply it back for Gibson to fire it in. Took a nick off Tom Downes, who throws his helmet down in disgust and despair. And Ulster get a 4th goal in this game. And Captain Gibson is the latest to get on the score sheet for the Northern Irish team. If the game was in doubt already, it certainly isn't now. And it could get even worse here for England white. Dow is forced out wide by Moran.
Scorer for Ulster, his 2nd of the game, Fergus Gibson.
Robson knocks it back for Edgar. It's played out towards the far side of Hunter, and Ulster do not look as if they have a man down at the moment in terms of outfield players, and they almost had another one there fired over. I think that was by Matthew Morris. 2 minutes left, and Ulster will no doubt be in contention going into tomorrow's final game against England Red. The possibility well and truly there of claiming the school games crown for 2017. As for England white, they will play their final game against Scotland tomorrow, and the only thing they can do is deny the team from north of the border having any chance themselves of coming out victorious tomorrow lunchtime, because they will not be able to win this themselves. It will be a 3rd successive defeat and frustration for Adam Horan's team. Bit of a show of poor discipline there from Greg Johnson, just chopping at the heels of Tom Robson, so he will be off for the remainder of this match. Another yellow card awarded towards an England white player. England white have the ball, should I say, on the near side with Charlie Griffiths. Back for Rhodes, came off his foot, but he got the decision already. And Gibson had committed a foul before that. Meanwhile, a change being made by England white, so Adam Knott is back into goal, and Tom Downes, the captain, leaves the pitch. So both teams back to 10 outfield players each, and you have to say England white certainly did not make the most of the outfield player advantage. Oh, they almost scored there, however. Oscar Kay just getting his stick onto the end of it. It looped towards goal. It was cleared before it reached Scott Dale in the Ulster net. So, approaching the dying embers of this contest. Ulster pushing for a fifth. England white just happy to be wary that they don't let their frustration boil over into another caution from the officials. And down the other end, Carson manages to get a deflection off of the stick of Joe Knott, so a restart 23 metres out for Ulster. And with the ball now is Haycock. Ball swept forward by Edgar, and an infringement there from England white, meaning it will be an Ulster restart. On this near side of the left, Morris tries to steer it in, but Ulster running out of time there to notch a fifth one in this game. They will have to settle for the 4. A late flurry there in the fourth period from goals, courtesy of Ollie Kidd and captain Fergus Gibson, putting the shine on what has been a very good performance from Ulster, who got the first goal of the game, courtesy of Matthew Morris. Matt Milliken managed to get the second just after half-time. And then Oliver Kidd and Fergus Gibson late on managing to get a third and fourth goal in this contest. It means that England white record an unfortunate third successive defeat.